A-Train control method. It's a simple look at how A-Train differs from quite a few other games in the way you can control it, but it does offer a lot of great options. One we're going to look at first is what I call the flying a plane option. Using the WA, S and D key, particularly the W key, you fly towards the mouse pointer, like so. And the more sharply you turn the mouse pointer, the more sharply your image will turn. All I'm doing is keeping my finger on the W key. And you can go backwards with the S key, which can be quite disorientating, but you can control yourself and bring yourself up and down. You can also pan left and right with A and D. You can drag forward and backwards with the left mouse button and pull and push and pan either way. You can use the right mouse button to turn, once again using the mouse pointer as the central axis. So if the mouse pointer is in the middle, you'll turn on a very tight circle. So you're turning around a spot right in the middle. If I move the mouse pointer right over here to the right, whoa, we can turn, as you can see, we've turned based on an axis right over there on the left hand side of the screen. So there's the various different ways you can do it. Another handy one, if you just want to go along a straight line, is to use the if you've got a roller in your mouse, is to roll forwards and backwards using the middle mouse button or your mouse roller. So I'm just pushing forward, rolling the mouse roller forward, rolling it back, and pushing forward and backwards there. So the first tip is really about the control. It's a little bit different from other games, but it's really handy, and there are lots of different options. One of my favourite ones is when I've got a nice city is to actually fly around it using this fly control method. It really is quite rewarding, actually, especially if you created it yourself. This is one of the cities that came created with it, but you've got a great deal of control, and it's all about those gentle movements, starting the movement early and letting it flow through. You can really get some very nice, as you can see, this is really quite easy to do, and quite rewarding. Okay, that's tip number one. Number two. Okay, tip number two is to give yourself proper control of all the trains, the platforms and the junctions, and to do that you need to go into options, click schedule, and make sure all of these buttons here are clicked. If they're not clicked, you won't have all the control options. For instance, when you click on a junction, you have the point settings, and you can decide whether it's branch, whether it goes straight on, whether it branches, what time. So you can have it at a certain time of the day it will go straight on, and at other times of the day it will branch. You can have separate times as well. You even go, if you have a Y junction or an X junction, you can even have a separate branch if there's not, because Y and X junction obviously work slightly different. X junction, sorry, work slightly differently. You can also click on these to change them manually as well. But with these selected off, you won't get these options. All you can do is change the points, and then every train that comes along will follow that. With these options set on, you can set the options for every single train. So you say, I want train 12 to always go left or right or whatever, whichever. I haven't got a train 12, let's pick train 3. I always want it to go branch or straight. As you can see, it's changing or whatever. The same rules apply for individual platforms. You have the information for the platform, the schedule, so you can select which train, which track, and this will take up most of the screen even in HD. What action mode, stop, departure time, pass through, individual departure times, wait for arrival, wait for oncoming, wait for overtake, whether you want it to carry on or reverse, how you want it to handle passengers getting on and off, just unload, just offload, do nothing, don't let anybody off because you're perhaps an express train, and then the service schedule, whether you want to run just weekdays or every day, all that kind of stuff. But all of these options won't appear until you've set all of these. Individual trains as well. If I click on 3, you'll have the full, there you are, the same sort of information and the various options of the train. They're all entities, and they're all only really controllable once you've gone custom, once you've gone options, schedule, and made sure all of these are clicked. That's tip number 2. Stocks and shares, or making money early in the game. You don't get a lot of cash, even if the scenario designer gives you the most cash they can at the beginning of the game. It's not a great deal. However, the stock market can help you if you have a little bit of patience. It's quite simple to double, triple, whatever your money quite quickly, sort of 15 minutes of playing. And the way you do that is on the stock market. Now, you can get a loan early on. You can go to the bank and get a loan to give yourself more cash to spend on the stock market. But all you're really looking for is to go through, go to the market, buy shares, and then look through these graphs here at the bottom for a price which is under 650. Under 500 is even better, and there may be a few. You can whiz through and have a little look. That's probably the best I'm going to find in this one. Now you've got lots of different sectors, and they can move independently from each other and have patterns within the sectors, and then patterns for each individual stock. There's another one that's quite good there. That's quite good, 630. It's neither much better or much worse than the one I saw first. So I'll stay on that. All you would do then is buy a load of shares. Buy those shares. Keep buying those shares. And when you're happy with them, have the economy graph there, which shows the economy is in recession at the moment. Get the game started and plonk it up to full speed and wait, and then sell them. And you can see my loss is, my loss was -5. I'm now almost back in, right, I'm making a profit. Okay, so in that very short amount of time, if I sold the shares now, I'd have made 4.6 million game units of profit. It's probably yen in this case, that quickly. Now that was very quick. It's not normal that the market would react that quickly. However, this could go right up to here, and you could make, well, at the moment we've invested, what was that, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 10 million. We made 46% profit already, but we quite easily make 200 or 300% profit on this investment very quickly. Now the market does react if you buy lots of shares and sell them quickly. If you buy shares in lots of low-lying stock, low cost stock, and then sell them all in one go, the market will react, because what happens is, you, as in a real market, you don't just sell them to something that just automatically buys everything. You offer them for sale, and then the market buys them off you over a period of normally 2 or 3 days. However, if, as in a real market, suddenly you've got shares in loads of these ones and lots of these here and here, and suddenly you put them all for sale at the same time, the market will react by panicking, and the stock price will drop quickly across the board normally. So you're best off buying wholesale where you can, but selling in little bite-sized chunks. You can sell quite a few. If you I bought 10 lots of 10,000, whatever it was here, or 100,000. I bought the full maximum amount. You could sell 2 or 3 of those in one go, and you could probably, as long as you diversified your portfolio, he says, speaking as if somebody knows what he's talking about, and I don't, you could do that across 2 or 3 different sectors as well. But don't get sucked into selling everything all in one go, because you'll probably cause a market crash, and the value of your other shares will plummet. And I say it takes time, as if real people are looking into the market to buy your shares. The game doesn't buy your shares off you. In that sense, it mimics people going to market on Monday to Friday to buy them. So also the market doesn't move at weekends either. So just a few tips, but you can make a lot of money early in the game by playing the stock market. I'm at the edge of town here, and that is quite a view. It's enormous, this particular scenario, but I'm right at the edge, and here is a material depot, and over here is a lot of land which I can expand into, making this already enormous town even more enormous, crossing this bridge here and all the rest of it. Now the thing is, what if I want to develop an area to perform a particular function, such as a residential area, such as commercial, such as industrial? What will happen is, if you let the game's AI run unimpeded or unimpinged or whatever it is, what you'll find is the game might make a mockery of your plans. You'll start maybe put some residential here or have a plan here, and the game will start plopping up a factory or some houses or some fields in the way, and it's difficult to min-max if the game keeps doing that. What you can do though is, you've got this little toggle switch here: disable reserved area or get reserved area. And as soon as you click the reserved area, you'll see you get this smaller little map here. Now you have where you are, which is normally in the middle of, where are we? Here we are. There's my view. There we are. I'm looking at this little spur here, and I can start, if I click in here, you see where that's, I'm actually clicking the sea behind me there, which isn't really where I want to click. I want to click in the land. But let's go forward into some of this here land, which I believe is the stuff shown at the top of the screen. If I just let the game get me up there. There we go. Alright, so we got this great big block of land there. Oops, where am I? I'm under the sea now. Right. Okay, there we are. There we are. There's where we are. Great big areas of land, and we've got over here. Now I don't want the game to build on this land. I want to be able to build it, so I want to reserve it. So all I do is click in these blocks. And once you click in these blocks, and it costs you nothing, and yeah, it can be seen as a bit of an exploit. Once you click in the box, the AI won't build in those blocks. You can unblock them anytime you like with the game paused and build on them to your heart's content. So if you wanted to play this game like SimCity and set it up with defined residential, defined commercial and defined industrial zones, you could do that. And one of the main things you do one of the main tools you use to force that would be the reserve area tab there. Okay, so that's tip number 4. A blank canvas, and this is a tip that can only really be used in the construction mode when you're creating your own map, which is what I've done. I've gone into map creator, that's why it's a blank canvas, and it's to access the game's inbuilt video creator. Press P, and with P pressed click on R, and you get the video creator come up, where you can create scenes and selections and decide on various things such as speed of the camera, whether to accelerate or decelerate for the direction of the camera, the elevation of tilt, wide angle, standard, long distance view, whether to lock on an object, all these different things in here. Now I'm not an expert in this because this was a feature added by the developers so they could create the attract sequences that run actually within the game itself. There is on our Railway Simulator blog a very brief explanation of how some of this works only on the very basic level. The rest is really for you guys to discover, but when you've created your own world and you want to show it, you can do it using this. Now obviously if you've got something, your own screen recorder, you know, video cards these days, and video cards come with a screen recorder, and there's Bandicam and various other bits and bobs out there you can use. If you've got that, then you may not need this, but this is really quite handy, and it does take good quality images. So it's holding down P, and with P held down press R. If you do it the other way around, I've noticed it doesn't work. If you hold down R and then click P, it doesn't work. Hold down P first and then click R to find the video recorder Easter egg. That's my 5 tips.